Hey, good morning, traders. This is my morning brief. Hopefully, I can keep this quite brief, actually. Some things I'm looking at here, based on my fibs and everything. We're on the bullish side of trend. We have a double bottom situation. We came down this morning, tried to break below the London Open and get continuation. We could not get any follow through so far this morning. So basically, the 57.55 is really critical this morning. As long as prices hold above that level, we have to believe the bias is to the upside. Using our fibs and stuff, we're in the bullish side of the fibs as well, suggesting we'll be going back to all-time highs. So heads up on that here on ESs. Uh, Heads up on that. We have not had a look above and back test of the prior all-time highs. So that would be a primary thing. Well, now we're into day 3 of what is a potential island top situation, possibly island window dressing for quarterly expiration last Friday. So by having a 3-day window in an island, above critical resistance, we have to think that, it was all window dressing the last 2 trading days last week, and that we might start seeing some profit taking today. So that's the other side of the coin we have to be very mindful of in today's session. But so far this morning, there is a bid under the hood in the markets. But, be very careful. Like I said, there's a very good chance we had end of month window dressing. Remember, guys, they want to push things to the edges on monthly and quarterly, either to the upside or to the downside. That's where the Wall Street big cats get their bonuses locked in on those expirations. So heads up on that. A lot of what we saw Thursday and Friday could be tied to the bonuses in Wall Street. So be very mindful of that. Okay. But like we are holding above the London Opens, we have to lean to the bullish side so far this morning. EOQs this morning. Prior range high, we're right still into that prior range high on the EOQs. So we've tried Thursday to break out above it, and it failed Friday. And now this morning we're right there, suggesting early on this morning we tried to break up again and we failed, but we are still above the London Opens. So between the two, you still have to think you want to lean to the bullish side on these trades here until proven otherwise. So be very mindful of that. If you just take your fib, put a trend line right here as well, you can look at that as long as you're above that trend line right there, which is getting really close. We're wedging out, so you still have to slightly lean to the bullish side here on the EOQs. Okay. Sorry, my cat's going nuts. Russell, prior range high, right into that prior range high, right into the London Open. Both of these suggest the primary trend is up. It does. This is actually looking weaker so far this morning. So this would be the one I would be looking at for potential the epitome of window dressing to close out last quarter. So this thing here, early warning signs that we might be coming down. So the moment we were to be breaking these lows from the London Open, this one here might be setting up as a short candidate. And we're right at the bottom of a trading range here on the Russell. So be very mindful. It's either an ideal opportunity to jump in right here, or it's going to lose its trading range, this trading zone right early on this morning. So two big things here. Like I said, range high, prior range high, we're fighting that right here. So be very mindful of that. Technically, it's a bull flag. So just be very mindful. We're fighting different forces here. Okay. YM's very bullish here. We are in the still into a new trading zone above the London Open, above major trend. Bias should still initially be to the upside this morning here on that. So, and we are way away from, way down here is, way down here is our main back test area for YM, our prior all-time highs. So this thing here has shown the lead to the upside. Maybe the other indices are poised to follow, but this thing here it has been showing us the lead in the markets. Crude oil. This is something I'm really watching this morning here. I think crude oil is they were suppressing crude oil to get their to drive up the markets to close out the quarter, close out the month. In my opinion, they were suppressing crude oil to help make things look better than what they were. So be very mindful of that. It looks like crude oil might be breaking into a higher trading zone to kick off the new quarter here in a new month. So this is one of my top watches, and maybe as a dip buy, you probably get some ExxonMobil or Chevron or something like that, and those might be setting up as dip buy opportunities here. So be very mindful of those names. Other things I'm looking at on the main tape here, if you look over here, this is what's happening pre-market here. Some things that happened Friday. One being NVIDIA, based off of the trends that I have. We got major resistance at the 120, 121 area on NVIDIA. We came up to finish out the quarter. We tested it. It failed. And then we closed a week, closed out the month, or closed out monthly OPEX and the quarter, quite weak. It's not broken, but it was closing quite weak. So it's giving me a warning sign that they were taking profits potentially early in NVIDIA into OPEX. So despite the fact they were trying to do all the window dressing they can in the markets Friday, there were still heavy net sellers happening in NVIDIA. So just be very mindful of that. I'm looking for this potentially. You see this cross, potentially coming down here this morning. So very mindful of NVIDIA. That's going to be a very big powerhouse. Another one this morning was Microsoft. Big seller. There was a big seller came in Friday on Microsoft down here at these range lows. So that's another one warning us that, hey, there might be something. We are still above major trend here, but it's something I definitely want to keep in mind. These could be amazing dip buys, both in NVIDIA and Microsoft. So those would be top watches for the opposite side as well. You're at critical support on NVIDIA and Microsoft, so you want to definitely those could be dip buys as well. And maybe they were just suppressing it for today to come in for the big rally. Another one I'm looking at here, Micron. We're right here at range highs. Actually, since I started this video, we are breaking out above these range highs early on this morning. I might be taking a long position here on Micron. We do have earnings Friday or Wednesday. This might be setting up for an earnings run up here. Looking for a move. There's a gap up here on Micron, possibly back into the gap here. It's 94 today on Micron. Might take till tomorrow too as well. So just really looking for this breakout back into the gap, maybe even the gap fill, possibly even to the gap fill for a earnings run up scenario. So be very mindful of that. It's something I'm keeping a really close eye on. Another one that I was really concerned about, they kept Apple up all the way into the very close, and then somebody came in and dumped Apple Friday right into the close, giving us a little bit of a warning that, hey, there might be something going on here. We are above the primary trend on Apple. Everything still is looking, maybe they felt like that they were too extended into the end of quarter, here on Apple. But it was giving us a little warning, and the primary uptrend has been broken. We are sitting at a potential support area here. So, like I said, ideally, the short would have been up here, but it's something I want to keep an eye on. I don't want to be seeing breaking those supports on Apple early on this morning to kick off a new quarter. Okay. Other things I'm looking at this morning. It failed. Baba came up, failed to break out to new highs. Alibaba, okay, that was showing up on my early scan this morning. Oh, Tesla. Tesla this morning. So Tesla, there's a major call wall at the 240 area. As long as Tesla holds the 240, which that was last week, 250 is potentially in the cards. So uh, if you're a bull, you want to see Tesla holding 240 kicking off the session. And we do have economic data this morning. Give me a second here. Okay, guys. So far this morning here, UK economic data and stuff came out this morning. We had a miss on the manufacturing and the composite PMI, and so the Purchasing Managers Index, uh, uh, the numbers are coming in lighter than expected. So less orders are coming in to the markets. We do have the U.S. Services PMI and the Manufacturing PMI at 945. So the markets actually will be open for the PMIs to come out. We know we're under a resistance area. This suggests is that we're probably not going to get much upside until after 9:45 if we're going to get any. So it's probably going to be wishy-washy up until the 9:45 time frame this morning. So be very mindful of that. Probably it actually, if anything, we're probably going to be breaking levels given the data that came out of the UK. So um, just be very mindful of that. We're probably going to be flat going into the 9:45, maybe, so be very mindful of that. Okay. Thanks a lot. Please retweet me on Twitter, X if you get a chance. Gumby9662C. I'll have it posted. And like the video if you get a chance there on YouTube. And leave some comments below if you're seeing something that I'm not seeing. But ultimately, I have a swing short in. I was wanting to be swing short into the PMIs in case we got a flash move down, which so far we're not getting that. So I am net short, post the quarterly OPEX, thinking there was a window dressing potential and that they were going to come in and trend some profits early on. One other chart, Palantir this morning was giving me a little bit of a warning. It was really strong to finish the quarter. So we can't, we closed up here, coming down here, giving us a little bit of a warning here that that might have been window dressing. So let's definitely keep Palantir on our watch too, maybe to the downside. Microcyst. That's another one that's trying to break out of the range. If you go over here on the 4-hour. So we're right up here in the top of this range right here, trying to go into this higher distribution. So we're into a resistance. We haven't cleared it yet. It's 148.76. You have to really get above 150 and hold. So this is into resistance, but it isn't above that 150 yet. Ideally, I'd like to see an opening print 930, 150 or greater to think that this is going to continue. So definitely keep that on watch. But like I said, we were getting mornings Friday about NVIDIA and Microsoft. So just be very mindful in your trading here. If you're trying to do it right, we're into major resistance. Could be island tops, setting up for island top reversals here. And, I don't know if what was happening in NVIDIA and Microsoft was a systemic issue or just, there wasn't enough money to support those names. They were using the other names to support the markets. I'm not for sure if that was the issue, but be very mindful. I think those two really need to be right front and center of your watch list this morning. Thanks a lot.